I honestly don't know if I've ever had this much fun with a projector before. It's because the operating system. This is the KTC P10 projector, and this is an LCD projector, 6000 ANSI lumens. So the light source on this is LED, and I've found the LEDs to look really good and be nice and bright. Real 1080p, and it's got a bunch of nice features like auto keystone, and it has a very sleek look to it, so it's not going to look out of place if you put it, like in your living room on a coffee table or something. So let's just cover everything about this projector, shall we? I'm going to cover probably the most important thing first, and that's just the picture quality. And I think this looks as good as basically any LCD projector I've ever seen. LED versus lamp. Well, LEDs are way more power efficient. They generate less heat, which means you're going to have less noise. But sometimes the color is not as good or not as vibrant compared to the lamps. However, I've had two really high quality 1080p lamp projectors. I think this one may have better color, if not exactly the same. So whoever they have over at KTC engineering these LEDs to make sure that the colors are really bright and accurate, they're doing a great job. The thing I like about KTC, and I've liked this about like a lot of their monitors, they do OEM stuff for a lot of different companies out there, and they've just recently sort of jumped into the Western markets with some actual products, and we've seen several of their monitors in the past, some OLEDs, some AHVAs, and even some IPS monitors, and I've been impressed with all of those, mostly because you get a lot for the money. And I think a lot of that's because, like I said, they do the OEMs for a lot of the big companies. So now they're kind of selling direct. And they've taken that same idea and translated over into their, LCD projectors like the one we have right here. And we've got a nice product that feels really premium, looks really premium, is very premium, has nice weight to it, has a nice fit and finish on the outside. And it also looks really good. So let's take a look at the ports in the back. So we have a headphone port there, and that can also be an audio out if you like. Then we have two USB ports, we have an HDMI, and a LAN port right there. Now, if you want to use Wi-Fi, you got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.1. All right, as far as the fit, the feel, and the finish. So it has a white plastic body on the outside, a huge lens on the front. Just a massive lens, which I kind of like to see. Generally, the size of the lens means you're going to have a sharper picture. Not always, but Then we have some vents on the sides. On the bottom there, we have a couple of fans, and then we have a slot where you can mount a little screw. It's like a foot. So if you want to like angle it up or whatever, you can screw this in and then just keep screwing until you get to the height you like and set it up that way if you need to angle it in any direction. Also, there's 3 screw holes on the bottom in case you wanted to mount it on the ceiling or something. As far as the top goes, we also have a very nice fabric top with just the KTC logo in the middle. Again, this is to kind of make it look like something that belongs in a living room. It looks more like furniture than electronics, and I kind of like that, but it's completely up to you. You can see the texture here on the fabric, so it's up to you. Do you like it? Let's take a quick look at the remote. The remote has quick buttons for a lot of the stuff you're going to need, like Netflix and YouTube and Prime Video. If you're someone like me, there's a button on the top that just allows you to access the inputs, switch it over to USB or HDMI, and I just throw it on HDMI. Standard remote, but nice to have. And it works even when I was behind the unit. I'm using an 80-inch screen. Now you can use up to a 120-inch screen, and it's a 1.25 to 1 throw ratio. So in order to figure out how far away the projector is going to be, you'll need to take your screen size and multiply that by 1.25. So if you want like a 120-inch screen, you're going to need to be about 11 feet away, I believe it is. And then I think it's 7.5 or 7.6 feet away for an 80-inch screen. And if you want all that in meters, it's 1.6 meters to about 4.6 meters. And that's what I'm using right here. I've just got an 80-inch screen. It's a decent little screen that kind of flops around a little bit whenever the heat comes on because it's not mounted to the wall. The contrast ratio is 1500 to 1. I think it looks really good, and I'm running this at like half brightness. Now, I did a bunch of different tests with some different lights and stuff. I keep most of my windows sealed, so I did turn on all the lights that I have available, and while it's still kind of dark, it's only running at 50% brightness, and it's plenty bright for me. When I turned it up to like 60%, I was like, no, it's too bright. I don't need it to be any brighter. And it's brilliantly bright at 600 ANSI lumens. It does have the autofocus and everything, so that makes it really easy. You just set it up. Remember having to like turn those things and do it all manually? It supports front and back projection. You can hang it upside down and flip the projection. You can do all of that stuff. It's kind of normal for projectors these days. It's got auto keystone correction, which was pretty accurate for me. I went in and changed a couple of the corners. It took me maybe 2 minutes to set it up and get the keystone and good enough for me to make this video anyway. So got that. It also has smart temperature control, and you've got several different modes you can change through for the different colors and everything. So I just tried to keep it on like the most natural mode that I could find. Above and beyond that, we do have some speakers. We have 2 10-watt speakers.
There it is, Devil's Gorge.
I see it.
and they're pretty loud. So, I mean, that's going to be good for like playing video games and stuff. If you just have money to buy one thing right now, well, then get this now and get the surround sound later, because it does have the speakers integrated. You don't have to align this projector directly in front. If you want to like set this on the side or something and then aim it over that way, well, the Keystone can work. It can automatically detect the flat surfaces and sort of adjust for that. You also have 50 to 100% stepless zooming. As far as the picture quality go, I've owned two different BenQ units. They were like, top of the line LCD models. And how do they compare to this LED light driven model? I think that this one might have better color, even though those were a little bit more expensive than this one is. So this one's also slightly quieter, even though you can hear the fans. It does have a an internal fan that most projectors have. You can hear the fan. It's not extremely loud once you're watching your shows or your movies or whatever. I found that it was just kind of a background hum, but I found it to be quieter than the LCD models that I've messed with in the past. And this P10 projector looks as good as any of those. All right, let's talk about why I had so much fun with this, and it's really the software. This has a Netflix official certification, so I'm not sure if that's something that matters a lot to you, but yeah, it's certified to run Netflix at the highest qualities. Another way to deliver content to the screen, you can set it up to do different sharing within your home or with your mobile device. You can just throw stuff directly from your mobile device to this projector. There's some units out there that absolutely require you to connect to the internet. One of the reasons I wanted to look at this is because you don't have to be online. You can completely skip the online setup. You can just use the HDMI, or you can use the software with something like Plex that's already installed and just stream your movies and TV shows that way. But let's say you want to use the software. Well, plug up the Ethernet or connect to the Wi-Fi, and let's take a look at what we have here. It's just Linux. I'm not sure exactly what variety, but we've got Linux on here. So the software that comes on here, it just says Linux, and I'm not sure exactly what flavor of Linux. I haven't seen this flavor of Linux before. It's not, Google Play or anything like that, which I'm kind of okay with because, well, honestly, I don't really use the software that much myself. But if you're someone who's looking to stream media and you want to do it with just one device, you don't want to plug it up to a separate computer or whatever, this works with Netflix and Amazon and has tons of built-in stuff already there. So we have all these cable networks. We have an app store called NetRage, which I'm not too familiar with. There's a browser already installed and a bunch of stuff. But I want to go over and take a look at the App Store. There are all kinds of weird TV channels that I just never knew about. I kind of forgot that TV was a thing. And we got Hoagie what is Hoagie the Globe Hopper? I don't even know what kids are watching these days, but I do know that I need to see a doggone Hollywood. I have no idea what this is, but it was just one of their streaming on demand things that's in here.
Ooh, you better go get them. They're not going to make it down that steep hill.
I'm going to do just that. You ready for that? I thought you'd say that.
Who is making all this stuff? This comes with TikTok pre-installed. This might be your way to keep TikTok, because you can't install TikTok anymore from all those app stores, even though someone said, oh, I'm going to make it so TikTok's here. No, it's not here anymore. It's gone. And companies can't put it back on their thing, but this has TikTok. I've never used TikTok. My brain rotted right out of my head. This thing kind of blew my mind. All these TV channels are just there. You just open it up and use it. It just works. I didn't have to do it. It didn't sign into anything. I didn't give anybody my information. In the beginning it says, oh, we're going to collect data or whatever, like everything else does in the world if you use the internet. But I didn't give it any of my personal information. I didn't put in my email address. I didn't sign into anything. I didn't sign in any services. I'm just using this thing, and it just, whatever you want to watch, just random stuff. So yeah. Now, if you're like me and you want to hook it up straight to a computer, you can do that. You just plug in the HDMI, get your computer up and running, and you're good to go. That's it. It just becomes, you could just use it like a dumb projector. Not a smart projector, not a smart TV, whatever. That's how I generally like to do it, because my computer can play any video game. And, it's not limited to whatever. I can play anything, I can do anything. So I generally do that. And if you're someone who just wants that, then this is a fine way to go. My only gripe would be that it only has one HDMI port, but that's not a huge gripe, because an HDMI converter is like a few dollars. Literally, I got like one of those for just a few dollars, and it lets you switch between multiple HDMI devices. So you can just get like a little HDMI switcher for all your HDMI devices if you have DVD players and consoles and everything, and you want to plug them all up to this. It's an extra little thing you'll need to buy, but that would be something that I would like to see maybe in a different version. But it's kind of hard to yell when you see the price and the quality of the image that you get. It's like, yeah, but The price to performance ratio is like also really good. So, all right. It does come with USB ports in the back, and those support, you know, most of the different formats out there. I think it had a little bit of trouble with my files because I use Opus for all of my audio. So my files would not play back correctly. The bottom line for me is you're getting a home theater quality projector at a good price. As far as the operating system goes, if you're someone who uses the Netflix and whatever else is on there, YouTube and all that stuff, it's there for you. But if you're someone like me who plugs up the HDMI and uses your computer and maintains all your own media and doesn't use all the corporate stuff, then you can just go that route. So either way works. I do think that, you know, you've got more apps and stuff if you're using like a one of those Android-based operating systems. But at the same time, I don't even use those. I don't use any operating systems on any of my stuff. I always use my own little computer or my own Raspberry Pi or my own mini PC or whatever. So it all just depends on what you need. If this will meet your needs, the few streaming services that are on there, then cool. If not, plug up the HDMI like the rest of us, why don't you? So this has been the KTC P10 projector. Real 1080p, y'all. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I'll see you next time.